Hello folks, welcome to the Tech channel. Today we are going to start on the first tutorial for JavaScript using FreeCodeCamp website. I did in the previous tutorial a quick preview on FreeCodeCamp and what it is and also how to use it. So if you didn't watch that tutorial, I would recommend go back, watch the tutorial and just follow us here. And if you already watched it, let's just go directly and start the first tutorial using FreeCodeCamp website for JavaScript. Let's just open a new tab here and start search for FreeCodeCamp. And then just open this first result, and we'll redirect you to the landing page here and then get started. And if you created an account, we'll redirect you directly to here, but if this first time, it will ask you to enter your email, then confirm your email, and then it will redirect you back to this page. From here, you can scroll down to where JavaScript algorithm and data structure. Let's open the first one. This is the one that you're going to start learning. And this has around six different tutorials for the full JavaScript, and this divided to smaller tutorials. Each one of them, for example, next one has this only 4 lessons or 4 challenge, but the first one, the biggest one, which is the basic of the JavaScript, it has around 118 challenge or lessons. We are going to divide this to around 10 or 12 tutorials. For each tutorial will cover 10 of this lesson or challenge. So we'll make the tutorial shorter, so to be motivated and keep you excited about the JavaScript. And so let's just start from the first lesson here and see what JavaScript is and how it looks. So this first tab here will give you first challenge or first lesson will give you a very quick brief about the JavaScript and what JavaScript is and how to use it. And also in JavaScript, we are using console.log to print anything inside the browser console log or to print it out to the user. And we use this just basic console log to create this pyramid, but at the end of this tutorial, we should use logically a JavaScript way to display or building a pyramid instead of a simple console log. So this first a quick introduction to JavaScript and what we are going to build at the end of this tutorial, and then you should get a certificate by that end. And now if we just check your code, before that, here this inside this input area where next to this line, this is where we start to type our code or how to run the JavaScript using this platform. And check your code and submit the changes. Congratulations, your code passed. So let's submit the changes and move on to the next lesson, which is lesson number 2, where we'll tell you how to declare variable in JavaScript. And there is a 2 way to declare variable in JavaScript using let, the first method, and the second one using const. So we are going to learn more on how to use const in the coming tutorials. But for now, we'll learn how to use let to declare a variable. And also here, give you more details what variable is in JavaScript. Let's first start. Basically, we'll focus on the practical more than just explaining theoretically what JavaScript and what variables is. So let's just start learning how to declare a JavaScript variable using let method. So first now we need to use let keyword, then declare the variable name. In this case, is asking us to declare a variable called character, and this initially will be assigned to nothing. So in JavaScript, each variable it has to have a semicolon at the end of it. So adding semicolon, check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Now let's submit the changes and move on to the next lesson. Lesson number 2, now we need to assign this variable to a value because currently it doesn't have any value assigned to it. So it's asking us to assign it to a value called hello. And then check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes. And here it will ask you to become a supporter of this website and supporting the team. If you are interested, you can join them. Otherwise, at the end, it will ask you to ask me later. You can just click on ask me later button. Just for now, click ask me later. And in this lesson, we'll ask us to change the hello world instead of using double quotes, using single quotes. So to create or to assign a variable to a text in JavaScript, there is a 2 way to wrap the text with a double quotes or a single quotes. For now, it's asking us to change this double quotes to single quotes instead. And then just check your code again that is passed and submit the changes and move on to the next lesson. And this lesson number 5 will show you how to use a console.log to print out a variable value in JavaScript. Currently, it is creating this variable called developer, and then console out the developer variable. And then we need to use the same example for character. So now let's just add a new console log here to console out character value. And inside the console log, we need to add the character variable, and then that will show the value here on the top right. Is hello, which is assigned to you this way. Now check your code was. Now let's move on to the next lesson. Now we'll ask you to reassign character to a new value instead of the exist value. In JavaScript, when using let method, you don't need to repeat let if you need to reassign the variable to the new value. For example, if we need to reassign this variable to a new value, we don't have to call let again and then call the variable name, for example, character. So it's just let's call character directly. And then just assign it to world instead. Let's remove this dot and add semicolon here. Let's run your code, check your code, that says an error. As the error basically always will show you what's wrong here. You can just read the error message. From there you can fix it by changing the first letter in order to capital, so that was small. Just title case, we call also title case, and check your code again, submit that is successfully run. Now just submit the changes and move on to the next lesson. And this lesson is asking us to call console log again to log out the character variable itself. Currently it's shown here on the top right hello, but now we should see a different value. So instead we can see hello world. So displaying the first variable, initial variable value, and then the new values that we reassign at the line number 3. Check your code, submit the changes successfully, and now move on to the next lesson, number 8. In JavaScript, we can declare a variable in syntax called camel case. So camel case syntax, basically, if you declare a variable include 2 words or 3 words or more, so the second or third word or the more than that, then every word of this will start with a capital letter. For example, variable 1, if you see 1 starts with capital O, and same for the second variable, the variable itself starts with a capital V. So this syntax in JavaScript called camel case syntax. So it's asking us to create or declare a new variable called character here. To declare a new variable, as you know, we learned in the previous lessons or challenge using let method called let keyword, and then the variable name, and then adding a semicolon. This is how to initiate a variable. And then you can check your code, and that's done successfully. We can submit the changes and move on to the lesson number 9 or challenge number 9. Where it is asking us to console log out the new variable that we initiated here. Let's just console that out and just copy this console.log or just type it by yourself. It's up to you. If you like typing, just type it or just copy it. And we need to log out this new variable we initiated in the previous lesson. And if you see that now displaying undefined, because this variable doesn't assign to any value, by default it will be assigned to undefined. So now check your code, that's successfully run. Let's just change submit and move on to the next lesson, which is number 10, which is the last one for this tutorial. So now it's asking us to assign or reassign this second character variable to a value called test. In JavaScript, as you know that we can reassign the variable by calling the variable name again and assign it to the new value. And when we are using let method, we don't need to repeat let again when we reassign the value. For example, just call the variable name, add the assignment operations, and add the new value, which is going to be called test. And at the end, it has to have a semicolon. And just run or check your test. That is passed. Congratulations. And submit the changes and move the next challenge, which challenge number 11, which is going to be on the next tutorial. Thank you for watching and see you in the next tutorial.